Okay, welcome everyone. Kevin LaRocca here with Binary Pro Strategies. This is going to be the weekly trading recap for July 26th, 2019. And we're going to go through each one of the days here. And do stay tuned. I'm going to show you Friday's action. Kind of show you kind of what you get if you come into the live chat room. You don't have to join live chat in order to learn these patterns, but I highly suggest it because not only do I show you which ones I'm trading, but I do provide you with the arrows to show you which pattern is setting up and what it is and so forth. So it's a great way to learn and also follow me and see what kind of trades that I'm taking and so forth. But nonetheless, let's get into it. Let's take a look first of all at Sunday night. Sunday night, as I've always said, always been one of my best nights. Tonight, this Sunday was actually quite slow. I didn't see a whole lot of really good EOM. There were a few periods of good EOM, but overall, the EOM was pretty low tonight. And so I didn't make a lot of trades. I made just a few trades. Everything I did tonight was trading only the core strategy. And we still ended up making $176. Not a huge night. Obviously had much better nights on Sunday, but this by far was a fairly quiet Sunday compared to what I'm usually seeing. So nonetheless, it could have something to do with the fact that it is summertime now. But during the summer, I mean, the weeks are awesome. I mean, I love trading in the summer. Tends to be my my bigger days. But tonight for some reason was pretty quiet. So nonetheless, Sunday nights, and I do trade every Sunday night with my students, so the chat room is open on Sundays, and anybody that's a member of the chat room does have access to the charts and also to my trades. All right, let's take a look at Monday morning. Okay, so Monday once again had pretty much mixed EOM, but one thing that was unusual about it is that we were seeing our momentum holding up. And as I've said, if you haven't seen my other videos, you hear a lot, trend is your friend. Well, trend is not your friend. What is truly your friend is momentum, okay? Trend doesn't, when you're trading short term like we do, trend is not important. What's the most important is momentum. So you want to make sure that you're on the right side of the momentum, and that's the way my patterns are designed. Always get me on the right side of the momentum. But nonetheless, after the EOM picked up in the afternoon, I had a good string of winners. It was pretty just mixed. First thing in the morning, then in the afternoon, once those strikes tightened up, then the spread on the strikes tightened up, then I still ended up with a really nice day. Ended up 493. And that's a pretty good session for the day. Nights tend to be my best times, but I'll tell you what, if the markets are acting right and we're seeing good momentum and it is summertime, then you know, that's a decent day for trading from 8 to 3 Central Time. So not bad. Now, obviously, Monday night, even though it had mixed EOM, the momentum was definitely holding for most of the night again. It really did start off strong in terms of momentum, and then the EOM picked up, and then the EOM was strong. And that lasted for most of the evening. I mean, all the Forex pairs were providing many strong setups to get into. What I do is I use like a 1-3 ratio. In other words, if I'll trade one, and then if I get another strong setup, depending on the results that I have on that one particular trade, I'll come in and I'll do a 3, and that's how I add size. I do a 1-3 ratio right now, and I teach you to do that if you become a member of the live chat room. I explain that to you, and I show you how to increase size, because when you're trading these 5 minutes, if you want to have these kind of days, you're going to have to put some size on from time to time. That's just the reality. Yes, you can do it on one lots here and there, but if you really want to have a big bang to your account, you're going to have to learn how to adjust your size, okay? And so that's going to be a really, really big factor, adjusting size. So nonetheless, great night session for Monday. Loved it, very strong. Okay, let's go on for Tuesday. Once again, I mean, this is just like typical summertime activity. Another strong session with high EOM, and it lasted all day long. So with all the Forex pairs provided more than ample opportunities to make money. Just too many setups that you can trade. I don't think you can trade all of them. I always suggest you just stick with one or two pairs and trade them. And the key to the way that I trade is my patterns are designed, they're kind of self-adjusting, and they get into the flow or the cycle. It becomes almost like it mirrors the actual cycle, the up and down cycles of the market. And yeah, every once in a while it gets kind of out of phase, but overall, once it gets adjusted, it just starts hitting left and right, and it was pretty much in phase all morning long. So once again, using the 1-3 ratio turned out to be just an awful, just a really strong Tuesday morning. Okay, Tuesday night, once again, I mean, just continues on and on and on. It was just a really strong EOM overall. All I did was trade the core strategy, plenty of setups. There was no reason why you couldn't make any money these last few days, because there was just so many strong setups, and almost every single one was hitting. So when I went back and I looked at my my win to loss ratio, I was hitting at 80% on my wins. So 80% is really good. You're not going to get 90. You're not going to get 100 unless you're, trying to make $5 a trade or something like that. But nonetheless, another strong night. So I am anticipating this is going to continue now for the next several weeks, if not next several months. All right, so let's take a look at Wednesday morning. Once again, kind of a repeat. EOM continues to be strong. I'm trading only the core strategy patterns and managing my contract size. A lot of what I'm doing now is I am putting in the early bird trades, and that's something that I will explain to you if you do become a member. Explain the early bird. Early bird's a very strong signal. I have several really strong patterns that I like to trade and trade consistently. Early bird is something that I'm just starting to release now to my students, but it's just a consistently strong pattern that works in markets that don't necessarily have good EOM. The EOM does not have to be strong in order to make money with the early birds. But nonetheless, what a great morning session. And of course, Wednesday night was kind of quiet. There wasn't a lot of people in chat for some reason. I don't know where everybody was, but it was pretty quiet. I came in, I only traded for 40 minutes. That was it, 40 minutes. And the markets were strong again. I think I could have done even better. But, I mean, just across the board, all the pairs were strong. And I just came in and I hit a few trades, and 40 minutes later, I ended up having a great Wednesday night. So once again, this is probably going to be one of the strongest weeks I've had in a long time. So kind of excited about that. Looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next week. But what a great time to be trading binary. It's just, everything is just in full gear right now. And man, you just want to come in and take advantage of that when you do see that. Okay, Thursday morning, traded only core strategy. Was adding in the early bird pattern and was hitting all morning long. Once again, Thursday. Just a really strong day, $887. Once again, adjusting contract size. The key is, the spreads between the strike prices. When those narrow, obviously you get much better premium. And it seems like that's when my account really starts to take off. So, watching the strike prices or watching the strikes, the strike ladder, wanting those to come in, and not, you don't want a big spread between them. You want those to narrow in, and once they narrow in, that's the time to hit the market. And at night, they're narrow at night, so that's probably why nights are so strong, because you can get much, when you do have a trade, you can get, you don't have to go out as far, and so you ended up getting much better premium. Okay, so I think just a really strong morning. Now, Thursday nights, all I trade is crystal ball. That's for those that have purchased the crystal ball method. And so we try to focus on that all night. And that's pretty much what we did. I didn't have a whole lot of trades. The night started up pretty slow. Later started to pick up with several good setups. It came in late because I'm only trading from 7 to 9 Central. Only trade for 2 hours. And that's kind of when everything started picking up as we went into, around that 9 o'clock time frame. I won't trade beyond that, but typically when it picks up late like that, it does last for a while. But nonetheless, made a few crystal ball trades. Still ended up having a decent night, and that wasn't bad considering I didn't have a whole lot of trades. So, and the thing about the crystal ball is it does take a little bit more patience because you don't have as many setups, but when you do, they tend to be extremely strong. One of my strongest setups I have is watching the crystal ball. Friday morning, man, I'll tell you what, I'm really surprised at these Fridays. Fridays have always been a really tough day for me to trade, but, just lately, one of the things I've done is kind of I'm trading Fridays a little bit differently right now, is I'm trying to focus on just 1 or 2 of my strongest setups and just trading those all day. And that seems to have really made a difference in my Friday results. So I'm going to continue to trade Fridays like that. Instead of taking all the patterns, I'm just going to rely on a couple of patterns that do very well, particularly the early bird. You don't need a lot of good EOM. You don't see a lot of good EOM on Fridays, so the early bird is perfect for that. When the EOM is not high, you can come in and trade a lot more of the early bird. And once again, man, what an awesome day. So overall, had an awesome week. I don't remember last time I had a week like this. It's been a while. Okay, so what a great week. Now, one of the things I always show is first trades right out of the gate. Once again, it's not something I really focus on. I just, after the day is done, I look back at my very first trade to see how I did. And you have a total of 10 trading sessions. You start Sunday night, and you end Friday morning. Fridays, it closes at 3, so you don't have a Friday night session. And I hit it at 80%. So look at this. These some of the 2 biggest days right here, day and night. My first trades were losers. So you can't base your day or your session on how you're going to do based on that very first trade. But still, very first trade for most sessions, I'm still hitting at 80%. I've done 90, I've done 100%. It just kind of varies. But nonetheless, that goes to show you how strong it is. I mean, usually the first trade out of the gate's a winner. And going back to something that I've talked about in the fundamental video is the importance of setting a goal. Don't trade all day long that I do. I trade all day long only because, I'm moderating my chat. People want to see how to make trades, so I'm making trades, I'm explaining setups. But I think the best way to trade is to come in with an objective. And once you hit your objective, stop trading. You don't have to trade all day long. Pick a time frame, pick a time during the day where you have at least 2 hours. Come in, have an objective, 50, 100, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter. And come in, hit the objective, and just stop trading. Then come back the next day and do it all over again at the same time. Because you'll see that there are nights act a little bit differently than days do. And whatever time frame you're trading, you're eventually get a feel for how the markets trade during that particular time. Okay, but the key to success is not just buying my system or any system and just thinking that you can just, not put any time into it and just come in and trade and make money. You do have to put time into, I call it screen time. You've got to put screen time in. You've got to get a feel for how the markets move. When you have a setup, sometimes there are other indicators that suggest maybe not taking a particular trade or not taking a particular setup. And those are the things that I teach you in live chat. So you've got to put, the more time you put into watching the action of the market, putting in more screen time, you will start to be a lot more successful. Okay, and that's just the reality of any trading. There is no black box. There is nothing that says do A, B, and C. and you're always going to make something. So you have to, there is some discretion. There's always going to be discretion in any good trading. All your best traders are discretionary traders, okay? They don't rely on indicators. They trade based off of chart patterns. My patterns are unique. They're not publicly available. I have my own set of unique patterns that I look at. But successful traders watch and understand how the markets move, and you just develop a feel for it eventually. And that just takes a little bit of screen time. Okay, so something I've been doing recently, been kind of looking at taking one of the pairs, kind of looking at the trades for that particular day. Once again, this is a Friday. This time it's going to be the U.S. Japanese yen. The blue arrows are shorts, the up arrows are longs, and then I let you know if I traded it, I'll put a win. If I didn't trade it, I'll put a no trade, and if I traded it and I lost, I'll put an L. So a lot of these no trades or these had to do with the fact that maybe I was out or I didn't like the setup. There was other indicators that was suggesting that I not take that particular trade. And so that's what you see here. But one of the things that's really interesting about this is if you look at your sequence of losses, I've talked about this before, these typically, it's very rare if you have 2 losses in a row. Once again, my system is like, think of the markets as moving in cycles, and my patterns like self-adjust. And a lot of times they're parallel to the action of the market, but every once in a while it'll get out of sync, but then it self-adjusts, gets back in the sync again. And so that when you see these losses here, you'll see it self-adjust and then it starts to get back in the sync again. And typically you don't have more than 1 loss in a row. So to have 2 losses in a row, markets it was really kind of out of sync, but it doesn't last very long. It gets back in sync again. See, like you had 1 loss here and it gets back in the sync right away. That's more typical, to have 1 loss and then start to get back in the sync again. So it's really cool how it works. These particular patterns will always hold up. They're never going to fall apart. They're not optimizable. They're self-adjusting to the market, and it does keep you absolutely in sync with the market. And so it's just, what I did is, once again, is all these arrows that you see here that have, you know, win or loss on it, I took those. And I was trading 4 different pairs. Not something I suggest a new trader do, but I was trading across the board. I was trading the yen and the euro and the pound. So it's just, you know, the little bit more you put in your account, you can diversify a little bit more. But starting off, any new trader, stay with 1 pair, follow every signal, learn to adjust side after losses. That's how I gear all my trades, based on losses, whether I want to add size or not. But a lot of times I won't add size if I see other things that I teach that may not be indicating that a market wants to continue a particular direction. So, but nonetheless, that's it. This week is I'm expecting to have another really strong week. If you guys are interested in learning more, you can always get a hold of me by going to my website, binaryprostrategies.com. You can call me, you can go ahead and you can send me an email. I will respond. If I don't get back right away, it's only because I've got a lot going on. I am a one-man shop. I'm a trader, so that's what I do. That's always going to be number one, is I have to make sure that I'm focusing on my trades and getting those taken care of. But any other questions you may have, let me know. And like I said, if I'm not working with a student or whatever the case may be, then I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. If you like these videos, obviously, please give me a thumbs up if you would. Please subscribe. I do have some other really cool things coming out. I'm getting ready to release a pattern for those that like to trade hourly. It's for the FX 100. And I'm just waiting a few more days before I release it. There's a reason for that, but I just want to wait a few more days, and then once I do, I'm going to release it. I don't trade hourlies, but I know a lot of people do, and I think it'd be something that maybe you can throw in on whatever you're using right now to trade the hourlies. I think it would be helpful because it gives you a strong bias to which way the market's going to go. So it's a different type of pattern. I don't particularly use this pattern with my 5 minutes, but it does seem to work pretty well for the hourly. So I'll be releasing that. So if you're on my email list, you will be notified. If you are if you subscribe, you will be notified of the release of that the free pattern I'm going to be putting out. So that's it. hopefully I'm going to have another really strong week. I'll be back Sunday night to trading again with my students. And my next update will be August 2nd, be next Friday, the weekend after. So sometime that weekend I'll go ahead and release my next result. So that's it for this week. I hope everybody have a great trading week. And once again, any questions, just give me a shout. Y'all take care. Okay, so if you're interested in learning exactly how I do this, I do offer 2 different packages. And the way this is set up is that if you want to learn about the core strategy package, now that isn't going to include all the videos. You're going to get full access to all my training videos and educational material. You're going to get full disclosure of the core strategy, which I use a lot, particularly the single and double continuation patterns. The majority of all the results that you see on my daily returns is going to be based off of those 2 patterns, okay? I also do trade the delta pattern, and I also will show you how to use the nibble strategy. The nibble strategy is designed to catch very short-term trades, and I'll show you exactly how to use that in combination with some of the other core patterns. Also, how to transition from demo to a live account. This is very important. That video is also included. As you know, it's also available on YouTube for free. But how to transition from a demo to a live account is very important. Something you need to watch. Don't just jump in and start trading in a live account. You want to learn the strategy, and you want to make sure that you're profitable. I'd say at least 9 out of every 10 days. And then when you get ready to transition to a live account, please watch the video, because there's some really good steps on how to make that transition. Also, when you purchase the package, you're going to get a 1-hour personal training with me. So you and I will do a one-on-one, and I'll make sure that you fully understand everything and how it works. Now, this package is designed to pretty much purchase and go if you'd wish. You can purchase, watch everything, and go out and trade on your own. Now, if you want to learn about the core strategy, plus the crystal ball, basically you're getting everything in here. You're getting the core strategy, but you're also going to get the you're going to learn the crystal ball method. That's something that's available. That's a video that is not available online. That's something you and I will once again sit down and go through and make sure you fully understand it. Now, if you decide that you want to go just with the core strategy and learn the crystal ball at some point, I'll just charge you the difference between the core strategy price and then the full price that includes the crystal ball. So I'll just charge you the difference between the 2. Okay, so these are designed to basically purchase, learn them, and then go and do your own trading and so forth. Now, if you wish to join me live as I trade live every day, which I highly suggest, because what I do is I also, not only do I share my charts, but I show you where I'm getting in, where I'm getting out, what strike, what price, why I'm doing it, what I'm seeing in the market. It's well worth it, and that's only going to be $50, okay? So if you want to, once again, if you just want to learn things on your own, you can purchase the package and move on. If you want to learn the package and then also join my live trading room, chat room, then that's just $50 a month, and that's $50 reoccurring as long as you want to stay. There's no time limit, so if you want to stay 2 months, 3 months, a year, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just $50 a month, okay? So if you're interested, you want to go to binaryprostrategies.com, and in there under Join Now, you're click on that little button. It'll pop up. You'll see this, and you can go ahead and purchase one of these 2 packages, and or if you're a reoccurring member, you can go ahead and join the monthly if you're not already part of the chat room. So any questions, as always, you can always get a hold of me by going to the website. My phone number's there, email address, and so forth. So if you like to do that, feel free to give me a call. I'll be glad to answer any of your questions before you make a decision. But everything I teach is fully disclosed. I'm not holding anything back. I am here to educate. I'm not a signal provider. That doesn't do you any good by me just giving you my signals. I'm here to teach you how I see the signals, and I want you to learn them as well and be able to identify them. as well as I do, and then this way you are free to trade on your own. You don't need me around all the time. But for those that like to stay in the chat room and trade with us live every day, that's always an option as well. So that's it. Thanks once again for watching my video, and you'll have a great day.